Imagine a killer, so calculating, so cold, that he dissolved his victims in acid to cover his tracks and calmly claimed there could be no crime without a body. This isn't the plot of a horror novel, it's the chilling reality of John George Haigh, the man who terrorized post-war England and earned the infamous title the Acid Bath Murderer. England, the late 1940s, a nation still rebuilding from the devastation of World War II. Among the remains of a war-torn city, a sharply dressed man named John George Haigh moved through high society with ease. With his polite demeanor and an air of sophistication, Haigh charmed those around him, including his unsuspecting victims. Haigh began his life of crime with forgery and petty theft, but his ambitions soon escalated into something far darker. By the time he committed his first murder, Haigh had already perfected his con man persona, convincing wealthy individuals to trust him with their finances. His first known victim, William McSwan, disappeared in 1944. Haigh lured McSwan into a secluded workshop, bludgeoned him to death, and placed his lifeless body into a large drum filled with sulfuric acid. The acid reduced McSwan's remains to a sludge within days, leaving no evidence of the crime. Haigh calmly drained the remnants into the sewer, confident in his belief that without a body there could be no murder charge. For Haigh, it wasn't just about evading capture, it was about greed. He assumed control of McSwan's finances, living lavishly off the stolen wealth. But his taste for murder wasn't sated. Over the next few years, Haigh targeted more victims, all wealthy individuals whose fortunes he could exploit. By the late 1940s, the disappearances of Haigh victims, Dr. Archibald and Rose Henderson, a well-to-do couple, and Olive Durant Deacon, a wealthy widow, began to raise suspicions. Haigh's method remained the same: lure the victims with promises of investment opportunities, murder them, and dissolve their bodies in acid to erase any trace of their existence. While the public remained unaware of the gruesome details, the mounting number of missing persons stirred fear in the community. Friends and relatives of the victims reported their disappearances, but Haigh's meticulous methods left investigators baffled. Haigh's confidence grew with each murder. He rented secluded properties to carry out his victims, ensuring privacy for his horrifying experiments. He even boasted to acquaintances about his scientific knowledge, though they had no inkling of the sinister truth. But Haigh's arrogance would eventually be his downfall. In 1949, he targeted Olive Durant Deacon, a wealthy widow who frequented the same hotel where Haigh was staying. When Olive failed to return home, her friends grew concerned and reported her missing. This time, Haigh's charm wasn't enough to divert suspicion. The investigation into Olive Durant Deacon's disappearance led police to Haigh's workshop, where they discovered damning evidence: acid-stained drums, personal belongings of the victims, and traces of human fat were found on the premises. Confronted with the evidence, Haigh confessed with chilling detachment. He calmly recounted how he had murdered his victims, dissolved their bodies, and drained the remains into the sewer. But his arrogance didn't end there. Haigh believed that his no body, no crime theory would protect him from conviction. He was wrong. Advances in forensic science allowed investigators to piece together enough evidence to link Haigh to the murders. His trial in 1949 captivated the nation as the gruesome details of his crimes were laid bare. Despite his attempts to plead insanity, the jury found him guilty, and Haigh was sentenced to death. In August 1949, John George Haigh was hanged, bringing an end to his reign of terror. But the shadow of his crimes lingered, leaving an indelible mark on England's collective memory. The story of the acid-bath murderer is one of arrogance, greed, and unimaginable cruelty. John Hay's belief that he could outsmart justice by dissolving his victims in acid serves as a chilling reminder of the depths of human depravity. While his crime may have ended with his execution, the fear he instilled continues to haunt the followers of true crime history. To this day, the name John Haigh evokes a sense of horror, proof that evil can wear even the most charming of masks.